Precisely. Alrighty, hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump in the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here in our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 hairs a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. In addition to all of that, if you are interested in playing in a game of ours, we do have open slots available in our Tuesday early and our Friday early game slots. They start at either noon or 1 p.m. EST, and as soon as we have 2 more players in either of the games, that's going to be the new campaign that fires off. And a little secret that I'm announcing to everybody, since they're going to be the ones starting at the lower level campaign, they're probably going to be the ones that are the forerunners of the next story arc of our universe, as everybody right now is super high level, and their arcs are going to be coming to conclusions probably within the year, if not a little bit later than that. So, if you want to be a part of all of that and shape the way that this universe is going to be going and molding, be sure to reach out and let me know. Last announcement, we are still doing the donation goals for all of us, everybody. We are currently... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Just about $80 shy of reaching our one-shot goal for everybody who has donated on that. If we earn $40 before break, I'll put on my onesie. We still have the option that if somebody donates $500 and the money to buy it, I will wear a sexy bunny outfit. And lastly, if somebody does, I think the agreed upon was $70, Ruka will make me a bunny girl VTuber that I will wear for the entire session. Y'all really like your bunnies, and I'm concerned about many of you. But hey, if it allows you to feel engaged and want to help out the community, I'm all for it. Also, you have until 4 p.m. EST today to submit any of your memes utilizing our meme templates on our Discord server in order to see who will be the next meme lord, the Mika of our community. If you're interested, all you have to do is make the meme utilizing our templates, DM it to me, and then we will be airing all of them, and Mika, Lewin themselves, are going to be telling you all who is the winner based off of how funny they are and whatever irrelevant other criteria that they decide they want to utilize. I'm allowing the meme lord to decide the meme lord. It's the way we're going to be passing the baton on. I believe that's going to be all from me. Go ahead, Yanni. Tell us exactly what happened last session.
What's the name of this one now?
Daddy's Issues.
Still? Okay. Last time on Daddy's Issues, we left the house. I was not exactly in the best state of mind. I needed to know if I was real, so I made sure that we used my circlet as the object for planar shifting. When we made planar shifted, we were about 11 miles out from the city. I manipulated the group into staying near the city so I could go back home. Finally, after much arguing and deliberation, they agreed to let me go. I left with Jethro, went through the gate, and when I got to the gate, there was a bit of a wait. I didn't want to wait, though, so I dropped my real last name instead of saying Shimmer. I was met by one of my boss's workers. His name was Urkel. I told Urkel where the camp was almost immediately. I didn't want anyone to know I told, so I did it in Thieves' Camp. I continued up to my house where I realized everything was real. Thank the Lords. I saw my family. My dad was not happy to see that I was with a fiance at the time, so that was kind of a shock. I saw my mother, which was nice, stepmother, but she's basically been my mother my whole life. And then I was told to go see my boss immediately. I left, went to see my boss, and gave him a situational report in person, even though I've been doing that for the past couple months. He told me he was going to see the camp and do a meeting and to be back at, Joey, what time is it now? It's like probably early in the morning, like 8.
Yes.
Yeah, 8 a.m. There's a recap from Yanni's perspective.
So, everybody was escorted over here inside of his protective carriage that has some magical defenses and capabilities in order to block out any of you from being seen as you move into the heart of the enemy's territory, deep within the Shimmer Ward, into Uladan's personal estate. As all of you step out, you see him standing there at the top of the stairs before his very lovely large home, a home that is familiar to many of you as, well, you got to spend time here not only for a ball, but also in some sly dealings with him back when you had to raid the sanatorium. As he is standing there, you all do see, roughly about 15 feet behind him, is Yanni, as well as Jethro. Uladan will look over at each of you and welcome back, many of you. Please step inside so we can have a more private conversation. Yanni, we are not being watched right now, correct? Perception check.
You're the one with magic, but I don't think we are. Just based on passive, can I say no?
I mean, if you don't want to actively do your job and actually look.
She's better at passive. Observant gives you a better passive than if I roll.
Sure. Then you don't look around. You just... Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see it. 28.
All right. You look around and there are fluttering of certain birds, but none of them look like familiars to you. They don't seem to be working. The birds don't seem actively working. They seem more natural in state.
A lot of birds.
Very good. All of you, please come inside. We can continue our conversation from last night.
I'll also start heading inside.
As you're all passing by, he greets each of you with a nod, standing there just letting you all pass, and when he comes across the new people, he looks at them and shakes their hand, gets to you, Patry.
Hi, I'm Patry. Nice to meet you.
Yes, I've heard plenty about you. Theseus
I'm
Uladan,
famous.
pleasure.
He's the one that beat up the birds with their bare hands.
Yes, I'm aware. I read all of your reports. You all walk inside, and you see that his grand showroom that he has here, the same place that he hosts his ball, is completely empty. All of the curtains are drawn over the massive windows that he has. The doors are shut behind you by Yanni herself, and looking around, he does not seem to have any immediate guards inside of this showroom. He did have guards escort you here, but they seem to be outside of his estate still, leaving nothing but your group and himself inside to the naked eye.
Important question.
Yeah?
Is the singularity still in that case that was in this room?
It is not.
Okay.
So, as you all wander in, he will gesture towards a table that is laid down in the middle of this massive showroom, and he goes and sits down inside of his modest throne and gestures at many of the other seats. In front of each of the seats, there appears to be journals with parchment.
Head over to one of the seats.
Yanni is sitting directly to his right.
Patry goes on one of the seats.
Jethro will be beside Yanni.
I'm gonna be across Uladan just so I have eyes on him.
That puts you approximately 30 feet away.
Oh fuck! I forgot how lush this thing. Ah.
But 30 feet's within you distance. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be next to Miriam.
Okay. So who's sitting directly to his left?
Zast.
I guess that would be me then. But I'm not sitting down just yet. I'm just standing, obviously checking out the room, looking for any kind of signs of ambush or anything like that.
If you would like to ask your brother to sensory across the room, you are more than welcome to.
Sure. Tulsa, maybe you could do one of those, true seeing, I believe you call it.
No, I'll get out the ointment and yeah, true seeing.
Eye drops.
And I'll take a look around as well as casting detect magic.
Okay. Roll me an investigation roll, please.
Oh, a sister.
Very well.
Well, if I can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was just thinking if she gets opportunity because she has true seeing, then it's...
Well, there's still the magical... She still has to physically look at all the locations, so you going around and pointing to different spots that would be advantageous still is assisting. Though you can't physically, or you can't mentally, like, comprehend what she's doing, you can physically assist.
Right.
You know, it's helping somebody see over a hedge by lifting them up, you know?
Yeah.
So, 23. Looking around, there does appear to be, on top of one of the large drawn curtains, a crow that is positioned, and it's not really hiding, it just seems to be high enough that it's out of most people's sights, and it is watching you with its right eye.
Bro.
That
Yanni.
is my familiar.
Very well then.
Just to be sure that none of you are a little too gun-ho, let's call it.
Right.
It's a gung ho.
Well, I doubt we would have that as actually. We're not only in the heart of Rexington, but we're in the place of someone who has been a employer in the past.
But I am not familiar with all of these new individuals. And the circumstance has changed quite a bit. I appreciate your way of thinking, though, Torsha. Bernie, would you like to join us at the table?
No, I think I'll stand.
Very well.
I'll
Oh,
take
that's
a-
actually a good question. Can I just make a quick arcana to make sure there's no runes on this table?
Sure.
Teens?
You kind of like push the book to the side and you see that there is this etched groove in the table itself going all the way around it. There is some type of enchantment on the table. It does not seem to be active, but the table is capable of some form of enchantment.
Okay. I gesture to Tolsha because she can see what type of magic it is.
The magic type is transmutation.
Might I ask, is this another one of those pieces of furniture like the chair you did before?
This is capable of being a safety precaution for myself.
I see. One of those animated tables, then?
It is a safety precaution. I'd rather not outline specifically what it is.
Understandable. You don't want your secrets getting out to everyone else.
Of course. But I must say I am reasonably surprised that all of you have found your way here. So close to, well, your enemy's territory. First order of business. I do have information pertaining to what happened to your sister. Inside of these journals that I laid down before each of you, and he'll gesture the one in front of the chair in front of you, Bernie, outlining all of the details that I have been able to gather thanks to my network of spies and cohorts. It would appear that when she was on her way up here, she helped out a great few individuals on the road. There was a ogre who had attacked a caravan that she helped. There was also what appeared to be a farmer whose crops were not responding to his treatment properly well, and there was also a small band of AWOL soldiers that she had encountered and assisted with, living off the land and such. That was all before she made it to Exandria. When she arrived here, she started asking questions that were a little too on the nose. She wanted to know more about Volstruckers. She wanted to know more about the Cerberus Assembly and Trent. Asking questions such as that, she disappeared for a period of time. No traces as to what specifically had caught her, where she had gone. But a few months later, she had reappeared, running away from the Solstice Academy. It was when she was running that she had encountered one of the Volstruckers, who severed her mind from her body.
What?
Yes.
Which one?
I will get to that in time.
Just to be clear, do you mean severed as in simply decapitation or a more
No.
arcane way?
They sapped her intelligence from her mind, leaving it completely blank, without thought, without process, incapable of breathing, incapable of swallowing the spit in her mouth. There was nothing left in her mind.
Is she dead?
That is a means for killing an individual in a way that even a powerful archdruid would not be capable of rendering them back to life.
What about her soul? Did they do anything with it or to it?
Knowing the Volstrucker organization as limitedly as I do, I would assume that they would have conducted many grand experiments given exactly what you all are.
I would like to cast a spell.
Please tell me what it is.
Zone of Truth.
He gestures.
I'll cast it so it covers the table and everyone who sits around it.
All right. So you're positioned towards the middle of the table now to hit the ends of it.
Yeah.
He will willingly fail. Mind you, there are certain questions I will still be evasive in answering. But if you are asking if what I just described to you happening to your sister is true, yes, it is.
All right. Well, one thing that I'm also very interested in knowing is what is it you want from us? Why do you want to
Revenge.
talk to us? Revenge.
Yes.
And then, after that,
I believe all of you could be very valuable and powerful assets to have working for me. However, I am hesitant to attempt to do so considering how dangerous you all are.
well,
Logical.
and what do you mean to do in regards to the war and the fate of the Empire, as it were?
The information that has been gathered by my assistant, Yanni, and given over to me has opened my eyes to quite a few various different dealings. Yanni pulls out her phone. Fuck, that just... Sorry,
Nina's
I
just
shouldn't...
giving you a
Let me
death
not
look.
look at that screen at all. Sorry, just... based off of the information that she has been giving me, this war seems more of a ploy in order to get something that specific individuals desire, more than it is a reasonable war that needs to be waged. Being the Archmage of Diplomatic Union, I am fully aware of the various different cultures and dealings around specific subjects. I am fully aware of how they bend different rules in order to aspire towards their own ideologies in different countries, such as Tal'Dorei. However, I have no ill will towards individuals. In fact, I've been treated with the utmost respect from Tal'Dorei with all of my political and diplomatic unions that I have formed with them over the years. As far as the war is concerned, I have been doing what is asked for me to do by our leader, Ludinus. But I have no wanting to usurp our king.
Right. Well, the way I see it is, well, as you say, it does seem like a ploy of some kind. And the question is, who benefits from our two nations being at each other's throat? Trent, of course.
Yes.
But who else might be benefiting?
Inside of your journals, if you flip over to the 9th page,
I'll do such.
I have outlined the name of each of the archmages for you inside of our empire, as well as their specific dealings. I believe that this is a sign of faith between our conversation happening right now. Though I do not wish to betray the empire, I more want to pursue my personal goal than to assist it at this point in time.
And what exactly is that personal goal, then?
The individual who had tortured my cousin.
Right. Revenge.
Yes. And given all of your ample expertise in killing, and the fact that it would serve all of you, I believe it would be a mutual beneficial situation.
Very logical. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Not necessarily.
Well, when two people have the same common foe, it benefits them to team up in order to eliminate that foe. What happens afterwards all depends on the interactions and the goals afterward. In this case, from what I'm understanding, the Volstrucker that killed, or not killed, tortured your cousin is your enemy. The Volstruckers are currently our enemy, thus their interests are aligned at the moment. Then it would be beneficial for both of us to work together.
And I believe you having information pertaining to Trent's personal watchdog may be beneficial to all of you as well.
Indeed.
So, just to be clear, you also see Trent as an enemy.
Trent gave the order to capture my cousin and to replace him with his own dummy in order to take over Nicodranus through political means before the war extended to the point that it is nearly at right now. Battle.
Right.
It was the
Well-
individual who worked out of rogue circumstance and tortured my cousin.
I see. Well, the question is, we don't know the extent of Trent's grip on your nation. Whether he has some sort of hold over the king or, well, others of the archmages, perhaps, or...
Our king is highly susceptible to suggestion, to say the least. It is the court of us Cerberus Assembly who are responsible to defend his mind and defend him from outer influences. Trent is second in command in the Archmages, only to Ludinus Deleth, who, until recently, I always presumed to be the eldest of all of us in the Cerberus Assembly, one of the founding members. There are two of us who work outside of their specific influence, but still need to answer when they call. That would be myself and Jenna Irsor.
She is the...
Archmage of Industry.
Well, the question is, what happens after all this? Let's say we manage to... Well, we get your revenge for you. And in return, what exactly do we get?
Those journals in front of you. The information about each of the Archmages, the political standing between each of them, a potential ally that is now given to you as someone who may directly oppose the Cerberus Assembly, Jenna Irasor.
I'm just curious about what the long-term sort of vision here is, or purpose, rather. Because it seems to me like, well, the Empire is already coming apart at the seams in some places.
Maybe. And it is my responsibility, in order to ensure diplomatic transitions whenever they need to arrive.
Right. Such as, well, let's say, for example, the secession of Pride's Call from the Empire.
I have been aware of their circumstance since your dealings with my agent, and may I also apologize. I did instruct her to keep all of this information close, and she was fully aware that I did not mean any malice towards all of you. I just like to have information readily available so I know who my enemies and allies are at any given moment.
Understandable.
Well, I would at least ask that Well, seeing as you've already given us bits of information, I am willing to assist in some regard, so long as we can get some mutual benefit out of it. But
What is your demand, Baron?
I would like you to facilitate negotiations and start formally recognizing Pride's Call as its own sovereign entity, apart from the Empire.
Wow, I thought you were gonna push for the whole end the war thing, but you're going long con.
To do such a thing, you would need to have the ear of the king himself, which of course I do. And in my position and chair, it is reasonable that I am capable of facilitating any union ships that Pride Call would still have with the Empire, so long as they are not allying themselves with the king's current enemies. So that will need to be kept under wraps and quiet.
Right. Well, I can assure you that they have not... they have been clear that they do not want to ally with Tal'Dorei, but they do want their own freedom. And they want to be neutral. But we both know that neutral states like that can also end up being puppet states.
And perfect battlegrounds.
And I would like to avoid that. But I think they would serve as a good buffer zone, if you will, between the Empire and at least the northern part of the Menagerie Coast.
In order to facilitate this, I would need the assurance of, well, someone of high command within Tal'Dorei, that they will honor neutrality in that zone and territory for the sake of the individuals caught between the fire.
Well, I'm sure my commander would be inclined to go along with this.
A captain commander is not enough. I would need to speak to somebody higher up. Someone on the council, perhaps.
I'm sure we can reach some sort of understanding there.
Then, we will facilitate communications between me and you in order to ensure that whoever is going to be helping me construct the political sway is present in Pride's Call when we meet on this neutral territory and ground. It is standard procedure to go to the territory and show and express our respect towards what we are aiming for.
Right.
Good.
Sounds good.
I cannot promise that the king will go for this, but I can promise my attempt and attention towards the task in order to try to achieve what it is you want.
Well, at the moment, Pride's Call is interested in retaining peaceful relations with the Empire. But we are aware that there have been forces of the Empire operating near the territory.
Yes.
And I just want to maintain that peace so that we ensure there is no bloodshed.
There is one issue with all of this that I can immediately foresee. Your... Is it proper to refer to him as your father?
Let's say progenitor, if you will.
I'd still say father.
Very well. He is a traitor to the Empire. Wanted criminal for various different activities that I'm sure all of you are aware of. If his presence is detected within the limitations of Pride's Call, that will call for conflict directly. And not conflict that I would be able to snuff out. This is something that would only be handled by other assembly members and the Volstrucker program.
Right.
He has to leave the city.
Fair.
Before our negotiations.
Fair enough. I'll talk with him.
Good. So.
All right. So, onto the matter of this revenge of yours, then. What can you tell us about the Volstrucker who tortured your cousin? Exactly who was your cousin, or is?
Uladan. Zaf Uladan. He was the Marquis of Nicodranus and, well, was temporarily pushed away from that position while he was being tortured, and a placeholder was in place. Luckily, the saviors of Feolin had discovered what was happened to him and were able to rectify the situation and save him from future torment. There was 2 Volstruckers that I have on good authority that were dealing with that program. One who is capable of severing minds. That has already been dealt with, thanks to the likes of you.
Right. And the other one?
Eyes.
Eyes?
Is that a familiar name to us?
If you have notes on it, yes. If you don't, no.
When he says eyes, is he like referring to actual eyes or like the Roman numeral 2?
Both. Eyes is a unique Volstrucker within the program. He is currently ranked number 2, arguably deserving of the rank number 1 itself. He has the uncanny ability of True Sight, Mage Sight, Magic Sight, as well as the ability to extend his perception far beyond the limitations of any other human being has ever been capable of doing. He is able to watch over miles of territory by himself by setting up little sensories of his own eyes, depending on what he is attempting to do. Though it is straining on him, he has been recorded capable of looking upon 5 miles for 4 hours before fatigue began to set in. And that is watching everywhere within that territory all at once. He is Trent's personal seeing eye dog, capable of keeping watch over his back. No magic will seep through, no magic would be unseen, no individuals can sleuth through. There's nearly been anybody that I've been able to, learn about who's been able to sneak past his perception. Reliably.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are all notable ones named after parts of the face? Because I know we're aware of one called the nose in passing.
There are specific ones that are warranted nicknames. The face, the nose, the eyes, the tongue, but not all of them, no. Some of them have more abstract capabilities. But there has been quite a few coincidences between certain ones having these capabilities. Now, luckily, we have in our midst at least one individual who has been capable of sneaking through his perceptions reliably. And he looks
That's
over
what-
at Yanni.
I was about to say that's when Mary comes out of the shadows.
No. How would he see Mary? He doesn't know. Yanni has been trained specifically in order to be able to keep watch over me in a similar way, and to go out and see what I need seen. Now, these eyes are not his only special capabilities. He has been reported capable of casting his spells anywhere within his sensory zones when he is empowered.
What did he look like? Or does he look like? Do you have an image?
I only have a rough sketch based off of what individuals have told to me. Please turn to page 12.
Is the
what-
picture... Sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean by empowered?
Volstruckers have their own capabilities based off of the treatment that they've gained over periods of time. That gives them unique capabilities, like his sight. When he is empowered with fresh serum into himself, he gains more power. It is a circumstance that is very common amongst the Volstruckers. Many of them who are within the trusted ranks at higher positions usually have multiple doses they can give themselves in order to, well, succeed in tasks that would otherwise be impossible except for that of gods. However, with each additional dose, there is an increased chance of the individual dying or becoming unrepairably corrupted.
Right. Yeah, I think we've met one of those individuals. There was a certain one that we tried to spare his life, but ultimately he died.
DM, since I've heavily investigated what the Volstrucker serum does to a body, can I estimate the repercussions of enhancing their ability that much?
Based off of an individual's physiology and composition, humans are the most adaptable creatures out there. Only comparable to specific branches of elven kind that are more closely associated with the wilds that can change based off of their personality and flow very easily between that. But humans are, bar none, the most adaptable creatures. If they intake too much of it, their body will attempt to adapt, but every body has limitations to the amount of magic it can wield. You are fully aware that during the Age of Arcanum, individuals would aspire towards higher level magics, 9th level, 10th level, and if their bodies are not physically capable of doing that, it would sometimes destroy them, sometimes corrupt them, spell plague them, so on.
Is the picture described on that page similar to one of the two that attacked us by the waterfall?
No. The
Okay.
image on this page is an individual who has a tattooed eye under each of his other two eyes, and who has an eye that looks more real on the backs of both of his hands.
And we've never come across that person. Okay.
No.
How well aware are you of current Volstrucker operations or planned operations? Do you have any insight into that?
I am not as aware as I would like to be, but I am far more aware than many other individuals possibly could be.
Right. Would you happen to know of any planned, imminent strikes somewhere in Tal'Dorei?
There was one that was happening, but that strike had been thwarted. The two individuals involved are presumed dead. Duo siblings that were about to attack, the heart of Tal'Dorei.
Well, I have reason to believe that there may soon be an attack directed at, if not all of us, then at least me personally. And not directly at me, of course, but my brother, potentially, or my mother, or lastly, my fiancée. At least if Ocus's abilities are to be trusted.
What abilities are you referring to? He's not that up to date.
Right, well... Let's... Ocus, why don't you decide for yourself whether you want to tell him what you
I
can
see
do
the future.
Right, well, there you
go. He was going to stay quiet until you gave him a chance.
I'm in the future.
Yeah. Oh, come
Future.
Right. Well,
That's so orchid.
just to clarify a little bit, you can see some parts, little bit of the future if you focus, right?
Yes.
Right. You can't see the whole future always, all at once.
Yes.
You can?
I cannot.
No. Good.
It is tiresome to see any of it.
Right.
Well, if I hear information pertaining to that, and you all accept to assist me in quelling this individual and snuffing them out, then I would be at liberty to give you that information. However, if you are going to deny me my request, I regret to say that I would not be informing you of anything.
Certainly.
I would not be one to deny someone who wishes to seek revenge on injury of a family member.
No, there is a certain measure of justice that needs to be meted out. And I am inclined to do so.
On a slightly different topic, the singularity that we gave to you so long ago, did you use it?
Yes. Why?
Shia, please
Why
don't.
and
This is
how?
actually working for us.
I'm just was checking. The reason why we're wondering is because we've found many interesting lore tidbits about these, including some that these also seem to date before the Age of Arcanum. Some of them. back when, even before the calamity, when mages were fighting against the gods. We have
Your
this
order
from
of operations backwards.
no, the
Calamity
or-
happened after the Age of Arcanum.
sorry.
Age of Arcanum led to the Calamity.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I have my order backwards. We have this on good authority from someone who had been cursed to live beyond their normal means as a head only.
Now, that is intriguing and all, but I'm still wondering what you are getting at.
Well, we were curious about how you used it. And to what end?
We conducted a grand amount of experimentation on it. Me and a few of my trusted advisors at the time. As we were experimenting with it, we were figuring out it had, well, much different capabilities than was originally reported to us, and different from the information that you all gathered from the sanatorium itself.
Would you
Really?
be inclined to share this information or what you discovered?
I would be inclined to share this information after we have all assisted one another instead of just talking about it.
All right.
And moving on to one of the things talked before, John apparently promised you something during a mission.
Yes.
I'm not one to leave business unfinished, especially from an old companion, even if we knew nothing about it at the time. What was it you asked from John?
As I stated last night, I would much rather you take out whatever belongings you had of his, and I will see if it is there or not.
Okay, here's an actual question for the DM. When we got Gertrude, was John the one keeping it safe?
Yeah, of course.
Because I do not remember anymore.
Yeah, he was the only person, handling it at all.
Okay.
I'll take out from my bag, since I was currently the one holding it, Gertrude, and place it on the table.
Kind of the only thing that really makes sense that you'd want.
And considering that there are very few people in this world that are so capable of opening it. One wrong move, all the contents are expelled into the astral sea, never to be found again.
Well, do you have the knowledge of how to open it?
I do.
Then will you relinquish this to me as a end of a contract from your companion who has passed?
What did you promise, John?
Everything he needed. And I will still uphold that end of our bargain.
Well, he's dead.
What he needed was not for himself, but somebody else that he cared deeply for. I can still provide that.
Right. Well, I have no problem with that.
The method needed to open Gertrude is a complex method of moving various parts of the box in addition to infusing it with the blood of the handler.
Do you still have his blood?
Indeed. And I have magics needed to make it flow again.
Yanni, watch as she goes through the unique systems. I need you to memorize it.
Guess just nod.
Keep in mind,
I'll look at it too.
in figuring out this method, we learned this is not unique to the handler.
How
And
do
that
you
each
mean?
one of these boxes is tied to the blood of the one crafted it.
And we theorize Trent has a master override. Considering from what we found out, the individual not only crafts it themselves, but Trent oversees it as well. As with that, I'll start going through the process of unlocking it, because I have the notes written down of how to unlock it and the magic necessary to make that blood viscous again and
Yep.
infuse it with life.
And Yanni, with your absurd passive, you can watch everything she does in order to get it done.
And it's complex as fuck.
All written in quarry.
At the end of you doing that, you open up this box and you see the dozens upon dozens of tiny vials of thoughts left in there.
Now we have an index, but they're sorted by date.
May I?
She'll offer the index over.
Take it. Scan through. Not with his fingers, just with his eyes. Pick up his finger, dip it into some ink at the head of the table, and override one of the names and dates left in there, and then take that vial. Do this again for 2 more of them. And holds in his hand 3 vials. Much appreciated.
Of course.
The favor that John had asked for, I will still honor it. And he lets you keep the rest of Gertrude.
All right. I will put it back away, as well as the rest of the handler's blood after relocking Gertrude and getting the index back.
We really need to start going through that.
We really do. We haven't had time.
That was mostly John's plot line, but
Yeah, but
yeah, you
but
guys can
we're
do
in
it.
the
It's
middle
cool.
of a war, and we have a box of we have the CIA black box right here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well.
Is
So
that why the Volstruckers are after us? Because it's just the Jason Bourne movie, but we're the Jason Bournes and we have the box they want.
he figured it out. Damn it.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
So, I presume all of you have some type of means to override the teleportation into the Empire, considering how you just did yesterday.
You would assume, correct?
What I am going to be giving you, Marion, I need a sworn oath from you, based off of all of your ethics and promise as a potential archmage in the future, that you will not share with anybody or utilize it for anybody outside of these individuals at this table.
The item specifically he's planning to give me.
Yes.
I swear.
He takes his journal and tosses it across the table where it slides over to you. The last page written upon it is the transcript into my personal teleportation circle here in my castle.
Oh!
Okay, jeez. Was not expecting that one. Okay.
Well, if your enemy is eyes, you may need to travel quickly to get to where he is. And I assume you will honor your pledge. Without honor, there's no difference between an archmage and a lich.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right.
Coordinates.
What do you know about the Eye's current whereabouts? Are they still near Nicodranus somewhere?
Continental Wildmount. He will tap the table twice, and you all watch as across the entirety of the table, this map of Wildmount appears in front of you. Yep. The route that he has been seen only briefly, based off of my network of spies being able to spy him, he spent a great deal of time up in the Verst Glade around the Ashkeeper's Peak. There was an operation where they were adhering to some type of tree that would have been utilized in protecting the borders of the Empire, and then the tree was killed and burnt down by a rogue band of adventurers that were intercepting it. After his whereabouts there, he was also seen crossing Jorhas. He was not traveling very far into its depths, though. He seems to have been traversing over towards, well, the Fever Gulf Lake.
Towards the eyes of the lake.
Perhaps. Who knows? And then, after all of that, he was reported commissioning a ship for sailing over towards the Blight Shore itself. The ship is supposed to temporarily dock for a few days at Rothold, and then dock more permanently for an extended period of time in New Haxon. This is not an Empire vessel. It is a, well, vessel from Zazith Kittrell that he had commissioned to bring him all the way there. New Haxon has been under the control over thanks to Zavolstruckers out there for quite a while. Though this is, of course, a secret kept close to the chest.
Exactly how is it being held under control?
Every so often, Trent will appear out there, as well as one of his more trusted amongst the assembly. Ludinus has been seen there. Astrid has been seen there. Once I had arrived based off of a specific dealing he wanted me to have, Ludinus had requested that I would go there and speak to some of the more religious leaders amongst the community to see if there was a way to pacify them and to allow them to adhere to the laws of the land without getting too, well, out of hand. And that is a pun, I apologize. The organization I had to speak to was called the Hands. And, well, it turned out that they were a little too fanatic towards their false god. And when I left, the problem had disappeared mysteriously very short while after.
What's God?
Well, they believed they were worshipping a god whose iconography was that of an eye placed within a hand.
Do we actually know who that is? We saw Vecna symbols.
You've seen these symbols? Where?
When we were traveling to the Shadowfell, we found those iconography with the Troggle, whatever those
You don't know who it is, but you are familiar with the iconography that you've seen.
I believe it was also due to, we saw them when we were, like, once again near the Shadowfell, right before the Atropol, the
Little
that
midget
one-
things, yeah.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
rune. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we learned it was Vecna from that guy.
Well, no, I thought it was
When he
from the
passed the
symbol.
check, he knew it was.
Yeah.
Oh, Bernie passed a check, and then we knew. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he would
And-
know to be on the lookout to smite these fuckers.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Lily wanted to like destroy it by simply like lifting up the thing that the rune was on, but then Joe was like, "That's probably a bad idea."
Right. Well,
Where's-
That one.
and this cult was destroyed, do you know, or did it just up and leave?
There is, I believe that either Deleth or Trent had sent some of their agents or personally removed them from the equation. They wanted me to pacify them and help them work together. It did not last very long. I am quite good at my job. Diplomatic unions, finding peaceful grounds, diplomacy. I'm very good at this. They did not wish to bend whatsoever. And if you are not a little flexible, then you break.
I got a question, Joey.
Yeah.
When I had detect magic up, would I, and I had that investigation check, would I have been able to tell if he was under the effect of one of those, the curse from the transmutator stone, considering we've seen it twice now?
You were incapable of detecting that on yourself, so no.
Okay. Just checking.
All right. So the current whereabouts of number 2 is somewhere on the Blight Shore, then, as far as you're aware.
That information came in to me a few weeks ago.
Right.
And I have tabs all across this entire continent and as far as my political pool can still gather for me for any sightings of him. If there is a change, I will make you aware of it. He is also one of the only Volstruckers that Trent has trusted with the knowledge of teleportation.
To get in and out of the Empire.
Very few of them ever have this capability taught to them. A reasonable precaution so that if they ever tried to rival him, he could simply snuff them out and they could not run away.
I see.
So he is far more trusted and powerful than many of the others.
That's very useful information to know.
Right. Okay, so you say New Haxon is under Volstrucker control, then it might be safe to assume that if not another Volstrucker is there, then at least some form of agents are out there.
Reasonable.
Are there anyone you are aware of in New Haxon who you might consider assets in this regard, or at least potential allies?
Well, there is, well, one individual who is supposed to be the ruler over New Haxon, but for some reason has bent themselves to the whims and cycles of the assembly. Satyana Vorvexius. I'll type it out for you. Don't bother. That's
Yeah. Tatiana Vorexis.
Satyana Vorvesis.
Alright.
They are the commander of the garrison itself, respected collector of antique relics as well. As they are the commander, they do have dealings directly with the Cerberus Assembly, but to allow assembly members to freely parade across the city, it is unlike them to do so easily, and I'm not quite sure why they would. I have it on good authority that this individual is a copper dragon, not just a person. And
Interesting.
though
Age range.
very ancient. And though they are a dragon, they were always known as being more, well, neutral towards individuals in dealings in their city, so long as it did not threaten their city itself. And dragons, as I'm sure some of you... He starts speaking Draconic. Do any of you understand Draconic?
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. He says, a dragon's ego is their greatest strength and flaw.
Describing Lily perfectly.
Excuse me, what was that? I didn't quite catch.
A dragon's strength
Kinda.
is their greatest... A dragon's ego is their greatest strength and flaw.
Out of
That was just
character,
Bernie.
Miriam's gonna talk to Bernie soon.
He's a
Whatever
copper.
he just said, it sounded like giant lizard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't speak any of those weird languages.
Well, in my profession, it did me well to learn every language that I could.
Fair.
Right.
Being able to speak every language is good, though. In my opinion, being able to read everyone is even better.
Well, if you can speak it, you can read it, right? You...
Not necessarily.
What? How not? Like, that would... Oh, you're thinking the spells. No, I don't use spells. I'm a linguist. I've learned every language that I can.
Well, I have the ability to read every language but not speak it.
Wonderful.
I
And
bet
he'll look over at you, Yanni, like, oh, cute. Like, as the only two known people that can actually read and write Quarry.
Well,
That
they're
one too.
certainly quite cunning as well.
Cunning was Lewin just made that joke in chat. Thank you, Lewin. You're getting slow, old man.
Well, there were so many other people talking.
That's
Right. Well, I guess we're up to the light shore then. Seems like we just got home from Shoraz, but all right.
Oh, my
No,
boss here
not
was going to offer you to stay a few days, rest.
correct.
Hmm.
If there's something that you are requiring in order to aspire towards this goal, that I can send my agents out to gather for you. Yanni is still not known as a member of your party yet, so she's able to wander the streets freely.
And I don't think it would be horrible for her to spend some time with her family, to let her be, mentally focused for the mission ahead.
Also, since everything's on the table, I was told there was also a priestess with you, but I never saw a priestess.
What?
Natalie,
You had a priestess that followed you around.
a cult leader.
The problem child. We are handling her.
Good luck.
Exactly how are you handling her?
If you're attempting to resurrect dead or forgotten gods, usually a god has a reason to be dead or forgotten.
Agreed.
Learning the information pertaining to exactly what it is she is doing, and with the limited information that I have on their specific deity, We are conducting research to ensure that this is not going to be a blight to anybody, and if it turns out she is attempting to resurrect this god, she is going to be removed.
From what she told us and what we talked to her about, but now that she was able to find what she was looking for, because I'm trying to remember, did Nathan ask not to be told that he'd been found?
Yes,
I don't.
he did.
He found the answer she was looking for, and we believe that she is off that path.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. She's proven quite resistant against learning lessons.
I mean, she still does have that unicorn as a familiar now, even though we asked her to let it go.
Right. As I said.
Wait a second. She found her answers. She found her father? Nightingale is alive?
I was gonna say that wouldn't be hard to put two and two together.
No, he's literally the guy who was like, I'm sorry I sent him on that mission. Like
Yes, we were the ones who rescued him from the vampires in the Shadowfell.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Nathan Gale is alive. That is a wonderful boon. Well, hopefully he will be able to get her off of her childish tactics then. But if we find out this god is dangerous, we will do what is necessary to ensure that it does not grow back to power. You all remember what occurred when Vecna had interluted with our civilization, but a lifetime ago.
Indeed.
Oh wait, all of y'all are too
Question to-
young. None of you experienced it. You know what happened, but you didn't experience it. You're all young.
We know there's a giant cliff that we can see across the ocean that wasn't there 100 years ago. Question to DM. Natalie's ritual, the reason why she was coming to Rexentrum, was that a solstice day?
Yes.
Has that passed us, or is it still coming up?
It's
Way
still
past.
coming up.
I thought passed was New Year's. It's literally January. It would have passed.
Oh yeah, then it passed, yeah.
Ah, damn
Yeah,
it. I was
that's what we're-
hoping to use that. Oh well.
Well, considering we haven't heard anything, considering of some deity being resurrected yet, and has already passed the solstice, I can assume that it is past that period of time.
We can hope, and we will see, but that is not in my immediate purview. It is something that I am just savvy to the informations on. So, you all may take a few days. Yanni, I will still need you to gather whatever materials all of them require. You all have the main foyer of my castle and your rooms at your disposal. Nothing else.
Before we dismiss, might I ask, is that Transmutator Singularity in safe hands?
It is in no hands, which is as safe as it can be.
You're not wrong. I wanted to ensure that Trent didn't get his hands on that. Imagine what he could do if he decided to make Volstrucker serum and just put it in the water.
Thankfully, it does not work like that.
Meanwhile, Trent is just scrying on this conversation. Like, that's an idea.
Oh, he can't scry in this building.
He's just invisible in the room, just looking at this. That is an interesting.
Tulsa also would have seen that, so y'all are
But-
overly cautious, which is very useful
For a
in this one
reason.
situation.
If it is all right with the group, I do have one request of our host for supplies.
Please.
It's been a long time coming. I would like to request 425 gold worth of residual.
It will be done.
I know I need to find a platinum encrusted fang worth 500 gold.
We just need a fang. We have the platinum. I think.
I'd like a steak dinner.
It will be done.
I'd like a bigger steak dinner.
Oh, damn
eat
you.
steak?
I'll just pick up a cow. There's a farm I have to visit anyway.
Okiss slams his fist on the table. I will take the biggest steak.
As I said, I'll pick up a cow.
What's
Seems-
Stash ask for?
Wait,
Seems the stakes have been raised here.
Hell yeah!
And on that wonderful note, we're gonna go ahead and go on break. That's a go. That was DM inspiration for that one, Bernie. That was a good one. I like that one. Fear back.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things help us out tremendously. And if you're interested in open slots, we have some available. Be sure to reach out and let me know. Where last we left off, the party had successfully, negotiated terms with Athesius Uladon. Your worry about his position in this war and amongst the assembly being warranted, but clearly this man seems hyper-driven by revenge right now. He is upset at what had happened to his family, and he craves vengeance and violence. As such, your party seems accommodating in his requests. Him granting you all quite a bit of information and access to some resources that otherwise would be completely out of reach to anybody right now due to the time of war, aside from an archmage themselves. So, as you all are sitting there putting in your requests for everything, he will stand up and direct over towards Yanni. I believe you and your traveling companions need to discuss some things. I will be taking my leave right now. And he'll nod his head towards all of you respectfully and leave. The crow flies down, perches on his shoulder, and travels with him.
You got some explaining to do, Yanni.
What, I told you I worked for him.
You didn't tell us you were sending him reports.
Yes, I did.
I could kind of hear from within the ring when I was sleepless. It was last night, right, Jethro?
Yeah, it was last night.
Last night. Yeah, no, I was listening to everything she said, and she was telling you the facts. I'm surprised it wasn't put together. And that's why I didn't get much sleep last night, because...
Well, she wasn't very forthcoming.
Did I need to write it down?
If you're going to tell us the truth, you do it properly. You don't hold back.
What did I hold
the way
back?
I understood it was, the way I got it, was that you had worked with him in the past, not that you were still doing it.
I told you I haven't received anything back from him in months. That this whole thing checked out, that I didn't know if I was real because I was made by a wish.
Well,
True. Everything I said was true.
fair enough.
Truth can still be a half-truth.
What did you need me to tell you? I told you he was my boss. Like, I don't know what else I could say. And I'm not like Urkel over there, and I'm going to point to the guy standing at the door who says master. Just weird.
Well, whatever the case, you did use a bit of deception in this whole thing getting us here. But that's reasonable given the circumstance, I suppose. Thing is, just try to be a bit more forthcoming with us.
Well, I mean, there's nothing really left to hide anymore, so I'm an open book. She's holding her journal. I can
Take a
leave this
book.
here if you don't believe me, but I was told you guys need to go shopping. Believe it or not, I don't think there's going to be a lot of Volstrucker activity here. At least the ones that work for Trent won't be here. If you want, you can stay at my house if you don't trust this place. I have 2 houses, my family one and then my one outside the gate.
I will point out that Uladon did say that they can stay here freely, and also all 3 of them are highly wanted by the state. Just
Oh no, I
because-
understand that, but like,
And
just
you
saying
live
there's
pretty
nothing
far
like-
away from Uladon. It's just
Yeah, one that, yeah. So like, you guys don't have to stay here if you don't trust him, but Braces of Archery would be awesome, but I don't know if those. I don't think Joey's ever giving those to anyone again. Let me see. Anyways, he told me to make a list of things you guys need. I need to go to a farm anyways to pick up a cow for a steak, a bigger steak, and the biggest steak, as I remember.
I mean, you keep
Yes.
saying you're gonna pick it up, but I'm pretty sure that I'm coming along so I can be the one picking it up.
You have to go see my father. He's going to leave soon.
Oh yeah, that was fun to watch. Also, just so you know, Jethro, you're about 3 degrees off of the correct Zemnian stance when you were at attention.
Me? I'm not a soldier. That's what she's gonna say.
Well, to Jethro, yeah.
Oh.
Did I say Yanni? I meant Jethro. You were 3 degrees off. You need to be leaned back a bit more.
Know how my form is.
You know how Tal'Dorian is, not Zemnian.
I'll think about it.
Right. Here's some things that I would need, Yanni. I think the only one you could really maybe find in town is, well, the Fang and maybe the Mithril breastplate. Because I'd prefer to have something lighter than steel.
Asking for all the rare shit.
Hey, it's not enchanted Mithril breastplate. It's just straight up regular.
Yeah, but mithril is a...
To be fair, I just put things that I wanted. I don't expect to get all of them, but some of them would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, don't
I-
pick
I-
things that are rare and above quality.
I mean, some of
Yeah,
the
I
stuff
picked
we
the
have
two
is
things I
uncommon.
thought he would use.
I have
yeah,
no idea which things are rare and uncommon and stuff. So
yeah.
Patrick, you could probably run around if you change how you look. I don't know if you have any Fey magic or anything like that. Zast, I know you can change how you look, so if you want to come with, you're more than welcome to. Same goes for you, Ocus, but you'd have to change how you look, and I don't know if you can do that or not.
Pulls out giant horse head.
How do you spell cloak?
CLOAK.
Okay.
Bernie, how do I spell cloak?
CLOAK.
Thank you. Just got 4 fuckers all in different timing telling me I got all the letters, just wrong order.
Cloaca.
It's like Cloaker.
Yeah.
But, oh,
KCLOAKH.
I just remembered another thing. I need to add 500 gold worth of incense for Legend Lores. Because there's a lot of things now that we have a few days that I need to do research into.
Gotcha. Well, I'll leave the book here. Anything else? Also,
you
if
wanna-
anyone's coming with, let me know.
Yeah, he sent his contract right here. I got from Kurt.
No, I did that once, and now I have to dig holes that are big.
No, you don't.
I
I dispelled that and tore up the contract.
I'm not sure if it gets rid of it. I still have that written as a flaw.
Honestly, how does he even make those contracts, Bernie?
The magical contracts is never good.
Not entirely sure. Maybe he has some ability to like tap into our infernal heritage that I don't.
Have you ever tried?
I have not tried to manipulate someone into writing or signing a bad contract, no.
Well, no, not a bad contract. I mean, just make magical contracts.
No.
I mean, you could get someone to sign it saying that they'll never commit X crime again if you let them off with a warning, and they can never do it again.
Well, that is, I suppose, fair, but the thing is, you're not supposed to do crime because of your own will not to do it.
Fair. But since I said I'm going to be doing some legend lores, does anyone have anything they want me to look into? Because I plan on looking into the spear for sure. Because that was not what we thought it was. I could look into your gorget in case it turns out that's not what we think it is either.
Yeah, that could. Yeah, that would be good. Pronounced gorget.
Well, I'll take this list and I'll be off. I'll go get the money from Uladon. She's gonna walk off to wherever Uladon went.
Oh, you don't. So, a little thing about working for one of the archmages of
You
the
just say
Cerberus
their
Assembly.
or show something and take it.
He has a line of credit everywhere in the city.
Okay, I guess I'll head out. I was gonna stop at my brother's farm, Florian's, outside the city, to get that cow, and I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible.
Okay. You get over there and you see he's still putting together the house and the stables. He looks over and takes note of you and just smiles and comes walking over for a hug.
I missed you. What are you doing out here?
What are you talking about? I'm a farmer now.
Not very long if your brother's gonna be stationed where he's stationed at. Which it's weird not seeing you two together.
Well, he got recruited into a specific paladins only program.
It's not a paladin though, he's a warrior. He fights on horseback. It's a cavalier, if anything.
Well, oh yeah, your sister's the paladin. My apologies. He was recruited as a specific forward operation for anything that would happen out in Icehaven. Just in case there's any infiltrations of mages, the Cavaliers are all being trained in units together, and he's being stuck in his unit. And
How did you not get recruited?
I broke my leg during training.
Looks fine now.
Oh yeah, it's fine now.
Look, I like you more than your brother. You know this, but like, he's still your brother, and he's gonna get in trouble up there, and he needs you more than he'd ever say. And if you do want this dream of living on a farm, if something happens to him up there, you know that's never going to happen here. This is never going to happen if he gets hurt or worse, he dies. You take over for the family at that point. This farm won't be a reality.
I
think you should go up there and help him. Because I would, but I can't. And I don't think he'd want an elf's help.
You don't get it. There's they started asking us to do some really fucked up shit.
Would you rather he does that alone?
I don't want to do it. People deserve to have their homes, and if they want to open it up to us, we can accept that, but to commandeer land, people's farms, estates, anybody who doesn't have a noble insignia on their home?
It's a time of war.
We don't have to do
No one
things
said
like
it was
that.
fair.
It's not okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is if your brother dies, though, whatever dream of not having to ever deal with that goes out the window.
I offered him to have his leg broken. He wanted to do this. I don't. I have no problem fighting for the Empire, but what they're asking us to do is not... It's not okay. What's the point of fighting for people if you're just going to take advantage of all of them? They're not cattle, they're people.
Fine, I'm going to be very honest with you right now. This war is not going to go to Ice Haven. It's going to come here. And believe me when I say they're not going to care if you're a farmer or anything like that. They're going to burn down the farm and kill you and everybody else outside these walls. Now, I'm asking you as your sister to please go there with your brother. And make sure he's all right.
Did you tell Dad? Mom?
I'll tell them you left. I'll tell them we had a talk and you left to go see your brother. Your sister will be safe too. I made sure of that. But if you stay here and you stay on a farm outside the walls, you are going to die. And I don't want to see that.
All right. I'll take a vacation out there. I'm not joining back into the military.
Don't do Peace Corps. I don't care. Just please be safe.
All right.
I miss you every day. I hope you've been getting my letters. I know they've been sparse lately. I have a fiance now. He's actually at Mom and Dad's house if you want to meet him.
Yeah, I'd like to meet the guy.
He's gonna get stabbed.
You guys are gonna see something very evil in 2 minutes. But I need to go. Also, do you have a cow? I was hoping there'd be a cow here. If not, I'll buy one from a different farm.
Oh yeah, we've already gotten our livestock together. You can just take one. Yeah.
I'm gonna take one that doesn't look like he'll miss. Anyways, I'm gonna be at Mom and Dad's house if you want to see me more.
Yeah, I'll stop by. I gotta get some things into order.
Okay. I'll go pick everything up and then I gotta talk to Uladon for like a minute. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, Uladon.
This is a loan.
Yeah.
There's a garrison up in Ice Haven and they're gonna have a visit from a noble person. I need everybody, including the noble person, to not live through that experience.
Why?
Because then the heir to a house becomes a half-elf.
That heiress is going to have to work for me for a very long time.
Or they'd owe a very high debt.
More than just to me. That's a debt of their soul.
I lost my soul a long time ago. I'm just gonna say. There we go.
You're not quite sure if he will do that. Uladan does have some ethics. And
No,
morals.
that's fine. This is like literally the character.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
So, before you leave, he will say, "There's a battle that happened down south.
Is my sister all right?
Casualties are being counted. We had a forward attack against Nicodranus. They were defended by people who had inside knowledge. We're counting casualties. As soon as I have a name of everybody accounted for, I will alert you."
Who did the attack?
It was led by the Fourth Reich.
Who's in charge of them?
The fourth one is... Commander Ivan Duch.
My sister's name comes up on the casualty list. I want you to message the wizard in our party, Miriam, and let him know that that's one of the accomplices on your cousin's case.
So you will miss one, but not the others?
I'll miss all three of them. But trust me, you don't want Ludwig III being in charge of anything. Florian wouldn't be bad, but he doesn't have the heart for it. My sister didn't do anything wrong.
I thought that your youngest brother was becoming a farmer, leaving behind his status.
You know that it's a death sentence if he stays outside the city. And that status does not go away, no
So
matter what you say.
You'd rather a different death sentence. Understood.
Let's make sure it's painless.
My influence only goes so far. You are dismissed.
Yeah, she's leaving.
So, after a couple of days of gathering, materials being brought in to you all in time as you best need, different items being brought forth, just because I see what everybody's claiming right now, Bernie, that plate mail is what I think Jethro was asking for, unless he already has plate mail and he just wanted mithril, which they don't have that shit just readily available.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Let me just double check that he doesn't already have plate mail, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like, yeah, any of us who.
His AC's 12, so he has splint, mithril splint. So that'll be up between y'all if y'all.
Yeah,
split.
no,
Yeah.
that's probably for him then.
Well, it might be an upgrade for him because I know he likes his mithril, but
Yeah.
yeah. So you guys discuss it. It's there. This is everything that Uladan either has already or can claim from all of the local shops around here.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Those cloaks are actually really nice.
Cloak of Concealment?
Yeah, I looked up what they do. And I like that. That's pretty nice.
Oh, that's like an actual magical item?
Yeah.
Because that was not intentional. That's a homebrew item I have.
Oh, okay. So how does it work in accordance to your...
Not finding it in Roll20 or beyond.
Yeah, that's all right. You were looking at one of the homebrews out on the internet. So this cloak is non-magical and is designed specifically to hide the physiology of anybody underneath it, as well as any armament or arms on their person, until they use an action to attack or cast a spell. Once you do that, everything underneath you is revealed. But it is a very well, sturdy, put-together, mundane cloak that can hide who you are underneath it without drawing suspicion.
Okay.
Yeah. It is non-magical, so it is just the way they're designed well. It's very similar to the type of cloak you saw John had in his bag and sometimes wore at night.
Okay. How's it going to work on a centaur?
You got one.
He needs two of them.
Sorry, guys.
Good.
Joey should also mention, because knowing he's the Archmage of Diplomacy, but also if we're trying to make peace and look nice with Tal'Dorei, seemed like a step in the right direction if the nobility had a elven member of it.
I understand what you are asking. I understand your reasonings. I understand how proper your thought process is. I'm going to leave it up to future you to tell me if that is something that you can heart and wear for 100 years. I'll leave that to future you to answer.
Oh, I do have something for Uladon. I might know of someone who might be an extreme asset for you.
Yeah.
That is out of cooperation.
Who?
Have you heard of Anton Oaktree?
You dirty.
I have not.
For you to remember them, you need to have the intention of not to harm them. This is not by me asking you, it's rather the fact they're under a curse that makes everyone who does not wish them harm or who is not perceptive enough, unable to see them or remember them.
That sounds like a very dangerous individual. Who are you talking about?
For you to remember the name, I need to place you under a guise. I will, with your permission, of course.
Absolutely not.
Then I cannot. You will not be able to remember their name.
Who are you talking about?
This is a Hail Mary.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but he will never accept a geas from any of y'all. Like that's he's good.
While we're on the sort of note of more personal favors, I guess, there is one thing I would like to ask. That's sort of on the side of all this. Well, I would like to know if there are any, shall we say, bad apples in the Church of the Lawbearer inside the Empire, and if it would be possible for you to procure a list of individuals that have or are liable to take bribes or be corrupted.
You know, I have quite a few favors that I'm working on right now, and I may attempt to bribe a few of them, and if they accept and do work for me, I can make you aware if a particular individual has accepted my advances.
It's not exactly how I would prefer it, but sure.
Well, two birds, one stone, and all is that.
Right. I'm starting to see how you got your position.
Of course. You must be efficient. And you must be able to work within the gray.
To a certain extent, I suppose.
It all matters to what end.
That's where we part ways.
Very well.
I do intend to legend lore burn the spear, Bernie's gorget, and then on another day the partial divine magic circle from the Eyes of the Lake. Now that we actually have time and not in a critical moment of saving slots for 2 to 3 days.
Sure. Burial spear first. Present to me all of the information you have on the burial spear.
Well, we know it's from the fifth layer of the Hells. We know it was from before the Age of Arcanum that was found in the highly sealed vault that contained the singularity in Draconia, and that it's ancient.
That's all the
And
information.
It was found together with the gorget as well, right?
In the
That
same
was
room as the gorget, yeah.
Same place. Yeah.
And that we know the last time it was accessed was, to our knowledge, during the time of what's his name, the
Chroma Conclave.
The Chroma Conclave, if not before that.
Okay. When you perform this legend lore, you watch as the smoke in the room begins showing you the vast expanse of the fifth layer of hell. You begin to see that out there is this, not very far away from where you all were, igloo that was positioned several miles away from a stream of lava that cut through it. Near that stream of lava, there was a forge, where a forge master who had sold his soul to Levistus seems to have been able to craft magnificent items and armaments. Now, this spear was ordered to be crafted by Levistus himself. Under this description of the object, the spear's might must only be held by somebody who will make the decisions that are tough for anyone else to muster, not someone who is forced in an alignment towards good and evil, someone who will do what is necessary. This object must be capable of the destruction and killing of anything, be it made from the gods or of the gods. The spear must be capable of one true strike by somebody worthy of wielding it. And on that truest of strikes, the spear shall shatter, but their foe will die. This Master Smith, however, was not capable of building something that can fundamentally break everything, and instead created something that was strong and could kill anything mortal, with a lucky hit, of course. And, as such, failed Levistus, and was forced to work by that lava stream for the rest of his death.
Okay. Now I know that it will shatter upon use, or once that crit hits. Supposedly, when legendary.
Well, the one that he wanted made was supposed to do that. This one is sturdier than that, but it can crit kill something if it has low enough hit points.
Wait, so it's not a one-shot hit on a crit. It just does a crit?
On a crit, it deals exceptionally more damage, and if that damage puts them below a specific threshold of health, they're dead.
Okay, because the handout you have is natural 20, the target instantly dies if they're not size huge or larger and don't have legendary resistance.
Oh, I was reading the wrong object. Yeah, no, it'll instantly die. It just, if it doesn't die, it gets exceptional critical damage, an additional 4d6. Yeah. So even if you don't one-shot kill something, at least it still takes a fuck ton of damage. Anyways, the Gorget. Present to me all of the information you have about that.
It was found in the area, same as the burial spear. And what did you have any info on the Gorget, Bernie?
There is a handout for it. I'm just trying to find it.
Boop, right there.
Yeah, there it is.
And it's of Sentinel's Hold. Or Gorget of the Sentinel's Hold.
Yeah, I don't know anything else about it.
So, with the information presented, you learn the same things about that individual who was this legendary blacksmith. However, when Levistus had commissioned this, Levistus had one of his soldiers commission a Gorget to counter this as a precaution. Later, it would turn out that that agent of Levistus was destroyed by him for the betrayal. And maybe the creation of this object is precisely why the blacksmith did not create exactly what Levistus had required.
I'll relay that info to Bernie. It appears both the Gorget and the spear are from the same blacksmith who was in that lair of hell. Though it appears they made that out of defiance to counter this. Though, had the blacksmith been capable of it, in theory, this would have been able to kill a god.
Right.
Now we know.
Makes you wonder, don't it?
Why it was in Draconia?
No, I mean, why would Levistus order someone to make something that could kill a god?
I don't know. Maybe they were attempting to go to war with Asmodeus or another one of the gods. But one of the things that struck out was that this was not to be wielded by someone who was good or evil, but someone who could make the tough decisions and do what was necessary. That doesn't sound a lot like an evil item to be made.
No, it sounds like something my order would order. Requisite.
Well, if we ever go back to the Hells, sure, we'd talking to that blacksmith would it reveal a lot of things.
Did you get the name of the blacksmith?
I didn't get the name of the blacksmith, did I?
No, you did not.
Although he is a legendary blacksmith, and that was
Correct.
Said in the legendary.
A
Some poor
legendary
bastard in hell.
blacksmith who sold his soul to be the best blacksmith and now is being forced to be a blacksmith. In hell, the worst place in hell, where it is freezing forever next to a burning lava stream.
Well,
The worst job in the world.
well, the one good thing is we can look for or have some other blacksmiths see if there's any identifying marks. And if we come across anything on the mortal plane or in books, we might be able to find out who they were. Although, considering how ancient they are, I don't know how many of those remain.
Yeah, I suppose. So this is like how old? Like pre-Age of Arcanum, you said?
From what I can of pre-calamity hell.
Right.
But it was ordered by Levistus.
Right.
So,
Well, good to know.
and then the next day, the last legend lore I have is I wanted to attempt to find out more about the partial divine magic circle outline that was found in the eyes of the lake.
All right, what information do you have about this?
It was found in the eyes of the lake, an area that's been untouched for a long time. It was in the temple of the six siblings, and that it's not an arcane divine it's not an arcane magic circle, it's a divine one.
Okay. This does not seem to be of legendary importance.
Really, even if it's a divine circle of
Yeah.
teleportation.
Yeah.
Guess I'll have to do it the hard way and try to figure out what the circle was before it was partially erased. Oh, yeah. Legend lore about our last brother who's here in somewhere in Rexentrum. I completely forgot about that one until I got reminded.
All right, present your information you know about him.
Yes. His name is Curzon. He had a mother who took care of him here in Rexentrum, 5 years older than me, human, and has a soul fragment of Kothar. I feel like the Kothar part is what makes it legendary.
Potentially.
Plot twist, he's number 2.
Dun dun dun! Ooh. Music change.
Oh.
You begin
It's
to
really
do
good.
this legend lore to Kerson. As you do this, you see a young man that is visited daily by a very elderly looking mage, watching his progress and his mother never having to work for anything, living within the Shimmer Ward as a gift to her, being given every lavished and lovely thing that she ever desires. Lovely, beautiful things. And her son being given the greatest education and upbringing that can be afforded within the Empire. In fact, his own personal tutor. Now, as this boy is aging, he starts to exhibit these outstanding capabilities and feats. A strength that is unparalleled to anybody. Being just at the ripe age and non-pubescent self. Capable of wrestling and arm wrestling grown men, soldiers, and besting them with relative ease. On top of that, every attempt and experimentation of altering his mind in any shape, way, or form seems to be moot, impossible. Not any mage, no matter their expertise, are capable of charming him or influencing his mind. And you see they go all out on all manners of spells and attempts. They even try weakening him through poisons and attempting to make him more susceptible to it. Nothing. The mind an intellectual fortress by nature. Of course, as he's being raised, he's seems to grow a fondness for battle. He finds it fun, in fact, exhilarating. And as such, he leaves behind his only few years of study in magecraft and joins into the military. Of course, off of the recommendation of Trent, this individual ages and grows in rank over and over and over again. And apparently he is now a very high-ranking official, an admiral, towards their southern fleet. As young as he is, commanding almost everybody out there. And it would appear that this young man is exceptionally tactically minded, incapable of being altered mentally whatsoever, and his strength continues to be unparalleled. That's everything you learn about him.
Does that match up with the captain?
No.
Okay, so it's not the captain.
It's not the captain. No.
But
Remember, the captain retired. There had to be a new admiral.
Admiral of the Southern Fleet.
That's admirable.
Is this the same fleet that got bombarded by the headmaster mistress of the Lyceum?
You are unaware.
Okay.
I'll gather Bernie and Miriam, and so I know some info about our last sibling.
Really?
Yes. Thank you, Legend Lore. Thank you, Mama Lucy, for this. He's the admiral of the Southern Fleet.
Um,
I'm sorry, what?
The Imperial Southern Fleet?
Mm-hmm. And his mind is completely immune to being charmed or influenced by anything. Apparently, through most of his life, mages have tried over and over and over again, and was visited regularly by an elderly mage. I'm pretty sure we know who that is. Mother's in the Shimmer Ward, given everything she ever desired. And he studied magecraft for a while before giving it up to join the military, where he rose quickly. I believe he replaced the previous admiral of the Southern Fleet. Looking to Mirren as he would know who that is.
Lovely.
So, we know where he is, but at least we can say he's not under anyone's influence. Oh,
Right. We just have someone with power to potentially turn into a giant form of diamond on a boat in the middle of the Can't remember the name of that ocean. Lucidian?
Sure.
Oh, and the fact he was able to even overpower trained arm wrestlers before he was a teenager.
Trained soldiers. Come on, this place isn't so boring to have trained arm wrestlers.
Sorry.
Oh,
Overpowered-
all right. Sorry, Bernie, your old character, probably. So that's fair.
Did I see a fight between him and Gunther of who was stronger
No,
in the legend
no,
lore?
no.
That wasn't arm wrestling, it's bear wrestling.
Yeah.
He's able to even overpower trained soldiers in arm wrestling contests from a prepubescent age.
Right.
So, if we ever encounter him, that's going to be one hell of a conversation.
Tolsha, let's be honest. He's going to encounter the Tal'Dorei fleet before we are ever close enough to get to him.
Yeah. Unless they're going somewhere else.
Do we know what region of the Lucidian the Southern Fleet governs?
None of you would know. The only person who would have any information about that is actually Bernie. Holy shit! I keep forgetting that you're a Navyman. Like you're a seaman. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that.
It's fine. He forgot Dorson was a pirate.
Alrighty.
He still has
So-
walking posters in the order.
You can roll me a waters vehicle check utilizing intelligence, Bernie.
Okay. 14.
So, the Zemnian Southern Fleet would have a lot of influence through the Gehem Basin into the Lucidian Ocean, but they wouldn't be probably past the Rumble Cusp territory. As, you know, that's like the pirates' territory where it begins.
Right. Okay.
It's one of the most dangerous places within any naval territory to be in charge of.
All right.
And wasn't the Southern Fleet mostly devastated by Craven? Or am I thinking of the Nicodranus fleet?
Oh, that was not the fleet of the Empire. That was the Menagerie Coast.
Okay, yeah, yes. Menagerie Coast, not Nicodranus. Because I couldn't remember if they docked there or not.
Well,
So I
yeah,
was
of
trying-
course they would dock probably at Nicodranus, but everything that's fell to... Here, let me bring you over to the other map real quick then.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember things that came up in last
So-
campaign.
Where his fleet would be in charge of would be this territory here to here.
Okay. So then their port is probably... what, like
Nicodranus and Zarzith Kittrell would be setting up a position for them as well, eventually.
So he's more defense against Jorhas than anything else.
Yeah, but he's like the front lines of the naval fleet against Jorhas.
Okay.
Right. Well, I highly doubt we're going to be able to recruit him onto our little entourage.
He's going to be the hardest one, yes.
All right. And, well, it seems he's already been... Well, we don't know the depths of his loyalty to the Empire. Or did you get any sort of sense of that?
I did not know. There's one person who would know. Our generous host. But I am assuming that info would come after we would complete his request.
Probably. How many days has it been at this point?
This will be like the third day.
All right. Well, I for one am starting to get a bit anxious with getting out of here. We've been
Oh,
cooped
the
up
closest.
too long.
Sorry.
Now, go ahead.
No, you finish.
I finished.
Sorry. Well, the closest I can bring all of us is the eyes of the lake.
Yes.
Unless any of you happen to have some items from that territory.
Actually, we could ask Uladon to see if he has any trinkets from the Blight Shore. And allowing for a quick teleportation, considering we've been told, do not fly over the Penumbra Range no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Fair.
We've heard a lot of horrible things about this coastline.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of the most dangerous places in the realm. Yeah.
Also,
Sounds like a fun time.
Also, one of the very few areas I wish I could avoid, but considering what is north of New Haxon.
What's
Although it's
that?
it starts with tooth. Although this would be a great chance if you ever meet anything from Gorvelis for you, Marion.
That is very far north of that.
True, but
I would suggest that we go to Sarsit Kittrell and procure a boat from there.
that's
I think
probably the
that's-
best idea.
Yeah, probably the safest and most direct way.
I mean, unless there's some kind of underground passage from the river run to the other side of the mountains, but I doubt that.
Well, there is a teleportation circle that I have access to that I could send you through, but it is reserved for use of Cerberus Assembly members and their units specifically. If there's anybody in there, you would be outed instantaneously. Your cloaks are good at concealing you, but not infallible.
Fair. You wouldn't happen to have anything from the area around New Haxon, would you?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Perhaps.
Anything you'd be willing to part with?
Yes, I have this lovely toe ring.
Is he being serious?
Despite how serious he's been this entire session, you should remember that he is a fairly ostentatious and lavished living individual.
So he actually has
Toe rings, hell yeah. Yeah. He wears
That
an
would-
open shirt robe, like just relaxing.
That would work. Get us there. Was that within the city or outside of the city that you were able to acquire such item?
This is from a ruined location in Encanta's Rest. Just on the cusp of it, though. I originally picked it up because I thought it would go magnificently with an outfit of mine, but then I only said that to the individual so they didn't question the fact that I would have something that could take me there in case I wanted to conduct any more investigations into their bizarre magics.
Ah,
Or bizarre environment.
with your permission, we would like to use that to teleport there. Of course, we will return it once we are returned. And anything you can tell us about Encanter's Rest before we teleport there?
Yes. Don't trust the weather at all, under any circumstance.
Changes on a whim?
Changes on a whim, and sometimes it is magical in nature. I would encourage all of you to take proper precautions, as if you are not wearing something that fully cloaks your body at all times, there are these acidic rains that sometimes fall.
Very well. Thank you for the information.
Mm.
Will the cloaks that you provided us work for said thing? Or
They
should
will.
we...
They were provided intentionally.
Thank you.
All right. Well. I suppose that's it then. Let's get going.
Thank you all, by the way. I understand that
Likewise.
working with somebody who is, in fact, your enemy is a very difficult thing to do. Even though we are not on the same side of this war, we are on the same side of specific aspects of the conflict itself.
I personally have. Well, yes, I would say that there were things I would change in the Empire. I don't wish to see its destruction. That is not what I see. I'd prefer just Trent to be removed and then everything to go back to the way it was before. Peace, as it were. I hold nothing against you or the other Archmages. Just Trent.
Reasonable. He'll look over at you, Bernie.
Yeah, I would mostly say the same. It's a few things I would change as well around here, but it's not up to me, so it doesn't matter. There is one thing I wanted to, this is sort of retroactive, but during the course of the 3 days, I'd like to ask Tulsa to do a few sendings. One to Kurt, one to Cecilia, and one to my mother.
Easy enough.
And
Easy enough.
Just to, the gist of it is to warn them and hopefully get them to go someplace safe. Or reasonably safe, where they would be more well protected.
I'd also ask Miriam to use Fabricate on that fang to encrust it with platinum. Sweet.
I'm gonna assume you're using the platinum in the party loot, right?
I was going to use some of my own.
There's literally 479 gold worth. You don't need to use that much of your own.
Okay, I'll use that. Editing party loot. Deleting platinum change from sanatorium. Done.
Alrighty.
Oh, I just remembered something.
Yeah.
This is that unknown Zemnian herb that we found before we encountered the giants. Would Uladon know what herb it is?
He would not. He is not a naturalist whatsoever.
It's
He
tobacco
has
toast. I
toe
really need to dry it
rings.
out.
I keep forgetting about that stupid herb because it was found in addition to the giant growth potion that kills you afterwards.
Well,
That would be an awesome way to kill Eyes. Just jab him with that.
And then run away, you mean?
and then survive the boss fight, and then
It's only a minute.
Easy.
yeah, survive 1 minute. Yeah, Patrick can run.
Look, if the Benny Hill theme plays, his eyes just try to chase her.
What we should do.
Just dodge the spells. It's that easy.
Yeah, just send Patry into wherever he's looking over and have her just sprint. Like, if he
Hey,
can
I'm a
hit her.
distraction.
Yeah, just taunt.
Look, I just need to give Patry haste and boots of speed.
Yeah, Patry just keeps screaming, Bay incursion.
I mean, he'll hear her coming from the sonic boom going off in the distance.
Patrick could yell into a cave, and then she would she would get there before the Echo got there. The Echo would be like, "What? How the fuck?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you deafen anything that's sensitive hearing. Just sonic boom in a cave, the echo.
So,
Don't worry, I can't break the sound barrier. Yet.
Not for lack of trying.
it's a
It's
barrier
not a
for a
sound hunting.
reason, jackasses.
I hear long shredder
Grace.
helps.
Anyways, time to have that flashback. Yanni and Jethro.
Oh, I thought it was just Jethro.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's just Jethro. Jethro, she dropped him off with her dad when she went to speak with her brother and stuff.
Okay. Well then, Jethro. He just stares at you while he's sitting on top of his high horse.
Oh, is he on a horse?
Yeah, you said that you were going to go horseback riding with him.
Yeah, you
Oh, I
have
thought
to
it was
ride a horse.
sparring.
No.
Well, shit.
He's an old man.
Alright.
He's not interested in sparring, but he does
He's
do a
also
lot
a
of
soldier.
horseback. Yeah, he's an old fucking man.
Yeah, and he
So
also knows
jousting.
that this guy is apparently with his daughter. So I don't know.
Uh-huh.
He might make an
Use your
exception.
strength instead of charisma. Let's see how much shit you talk.
Look. This is when the CQ2 hunting action
Anyways.
event triggers.
He stares at you from on top of his
Yeah.
horse.
Jethro is going to attempt to get on his horse in a proper manner.
Do you have proficiency in land vehicles?
Oh, land vehicles, yes.
Then yeah,
Animal
that's
handling, no.
no. Like horseback riding is a land vehicle. Technically, horses are vehicles in this game.
Which attribute is it?
Vroom,
Wisdom.
vroom.
Oh no.
Let's see how graceful you are. You got on that horse. There was no special maneuvering, no show-offmanship or anything like that. You just got on the horse. As he judges you based upon this, under a criteria that you are completely unaware of what it could possibly be, he just begins trotting with his horse.
Jethro tries to get his horse to go forward. Is this thing manual or automatic?
It's a manual horse.
It's the shift.
Lily hasn't invented the automated horse yet.
We're
Hey,
getting
not for
there.
lack of trying.
We're getting there.
The parts are there.
But joking aside, yeah, Jethro will trot alongside. Probably to his, I want to say his left, because the way that in the military you would be on the certain side of an officer kind of thing.
Yeah. The non-dominant hand of them as a backup. So, what is your intentions into joining my family? You're aware she is not the head of any of our house, correct?
I don't care if she's not the head of in your house. I simply wish to remain at her side.
Why is this?
Why is what?
Why?
Is there something confusing about that, sir? That
Yes,
wish to
I
remain-
am curious as to why you are so infatuated with staying by her side and how all of a sudden you have just appeared. And now all of a sudden you are engaged to her, and there's always a reason behind this. Everybody has a reasons behind why they want to get married, why they are going to be joining into families. What is it?
Because before I met your daughter, I was in a rather dark place. A place that I'm sure you've seen other soldiers who have gone through struggle of life have gone through. And if it weren't for her, I do not believe I would be here and abouts, wandering this path. And as someone who's saved me, I wish to remain at her side and be whatever she wants me to be, whether that be just someone available or a fiance, or if she has no use for me, I don't know.
And why is it you
But
can't just find a decent human girl?
um, sorry, I'm trying. I think Jethro does fall a little bit silent after that.
Mm-hmm. Semnian.
Uh,
Semnian. I hate doing it, but Semnian.
What a dick.
Yeah.
Yanni has expressed shame about being an elf multiple times.
if I might ask, sir, what is so wrong about your daughter that you would not wish me to be with her?
I'm wondering what's wrong with you that would inspire you to be with her.
Oh, I can tell you there are multiple things wrong with me,
Yeah.
sir.
Tell me,
Very many things. But
are you
for
one of
some-
those weird fetishists?
no, I don't. What?
He gives you a very stern look.
It is literally like Jethro just immediately answered, but then he realized what the question was. Like, wait, what? What fetish? No. For some odd reason, for someone as, excuse my language, fucked up as I am, your daughter seems to like me and doesn't mind me being around her, and so I would want to stay by that person's side. I don't know how complicated it could be regarding that, and honestly, I wish to remain by her side because I hate to see her sad. And where are we at on the horse ride, Joey? Are we like just in the fields now, or?
At this point, you're still within the city itself, but you're trotting around the backyard along a very wide path that does have running room for horses as well.
And if I were to make an estimate, sir, I would guess that you don't particularly like me.
You've been utterly unimpressive.
Well, that's fine
You
because
come
you're
from
not
no
someone-
house. You come from a lazy territory that fantasizes about trivial matters instead of protecting their own. You've admitted to having corrupted thoughts in your own mind during this conversation, and that you are, without any excuse asked for, fucked up.
Yes. But I would like to just let you know as well, I do not care to impress you. I'm not here for that, because I am not here for you. I am here for your daughter's sake.
Well.
And the fact is when I met her, your daughter has had a. I'm trying to think of the actual words here, Joey. Like Jethro would know it.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
has always had a lonely gaze about her, as if she doesn't belong anywhere. And even as fucked up as I am, I've always known that I could have a place called home. And yet when I arrived at your own estate, what I've seen is there's only a couple people who are here to give her such a welcoming home.
Because she is of my blood, I have given her access to my home, given her access to my food, my education, my training, every ample opportunity. If you have the expectation of more than that, you must be incredibly entitled.
Quite possibly, sir. I might be entitled. I might I might be prideful and arrogant, even. But the one thing I do know is that she deserves so much more than what you have said you've given her, because she is not just a simple she's not she is not a burden on you for this. She is your daughter.
She has
And
been
if
a burden for far more many years than she has been of relation to me.
Well, then, as fucked up as I am, sir, at least I can say one thing, is I am not a fool such as yourself.
You know, maybe it shall be good. You will not have access to our family, our titles, our riches, or anything such as that, but at least you get to take her name off of mine.
Yes, and if anything, I intend to give her so much more than you could possibly do.
You are dismissed from my home.
And I guess one thing too, before Jethro does walk up, he does start, and then he real quick kind of turns the horse around as well. Just one last thing, sir. You've mentioned before how fucked up I am, and I've admitted such as well. One thing have left out is I know I am unrefined, not as refined as you are. In fact, I know I'm basically a thug of sorts. But the only reason after this conversation I have not done something a thug might do is for the sake of your so-called burden. Good day. And then Jethro goes off.
Good. This is how you get assassinated. Yanni, I need you to kill your husband. Just
In return, your titles are reinstated.
Her title was never revoked. So
No, but if she got married, she would not be of his house anymore.
yeah.
Since in Zemnian culture, you would have to take your husband's name, meaning you would be joining his house.
Unless
House of
all the male
Tal?
heirs died.
All right. Just need to not get married until after you've murdered all your siblings.
Just because I feel like this would happen as well.
Sorry.
After that, a little bit after that, I don't know what I missed. Jethro would probably at some point try to find Bernie.
Mm-hmm. Bernie
I
would
don't know where
be
he's at,
in
but
Uladan's estate, as it is
yeah,
incredibly dangerous for any of y'all to be out in the city, other than you not wearing any of your formal uniform outfits or anything like that, and Yanni.
Jethro would come in. Bern, can I have a? I'd like to have a. Can I have a private chat with you? I'm just I need
Sure.
some advice, and I'm at a loss for something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just close the door over there, I suppose.
Immediately closes the door. Like he had like an air of like knows what he's doing. Suddenly slouching is like like the cartoon thing where all the hair just like even the mustache.
Yeah. I've just been
Oh
sitting there
my
like sharpening my axe with a whetstone.
Right. Bernie,
Menacingly.
Yeah.
do you know how to gain riches or become wealthy with a title, or basically like maybe noble, or how do you know where I could get like an estate, or how much that would be?
No. I mean,
Do you think if I
you
joined
suddenly
your
want-
order or something like that, I could that'd be within, I could get that, or do you think I could earn a title or achievement to? Oh
well,
my
I
gosh,
mean,
what do I do?
You would earn a military rank, I suppose. But I mean, are you looking to become a noble? All of a sudden, is that?
So, and then Jethro kind of will go over with Bernie, like more or less the conversation he had with Yenny's father.
All right, is it
And
more or is it less? Are you leaving any information out?
I'm leaving. I'm getting the big parts where like Jethro, basically the parts where Jethro's like, I promised I would give Yenny the world, basically. More than her father could. And Jethro is like, now in this room, you don't need an insight check to know he doesn't know how to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, have you asked if she if she wants the world? Maybe she just wants something smaller.
I mean, honestly, I'm afraid to ask because I mean it's not just that. It's I don't know. It's
Okay,
I'm so
so you're you're wanting to marry this woman and spend presumably the rest of your life with her, right? And you're afraid to ask her?
I mean,
How does that bode for a long-term relationship?
well, I mean, recently I just learned that she was an Imperial agent and that possibly all the feelings I thought she might have towards me could have been just some sort of manipulation.
Right. Yeah, I can see why that would be a little bit disconcerting. I mean, I don't know exactly how your relation is, but uh, the way I see it is, you just need to be open and honest and able to communicate truthfully with each other. And if you do that, then you'll be able to overcome any challenges in your way.
I mean, I believe it, but it's also what's I'm terrified because these I already ha I was already scared that maybe these feelings for her were just made there by the wish I made to a genie. But now I know for certain now, even if it was a wish, like I would still genuinely care for her. Um,
Right, well, tell her that then.
I don't,
I mean,
I can't, am I just supposed to walk up and say it? Like, how do I go about this?
I
What
mean,
do I do? I've
well,
never even proposed to her. It was all a wish from a genie. And
you
that's why I
haven't.
got this. And I assume
Well,
Jethro, that, oh, sorry, Joey, that the items we have were brought to us and stuff, all that.
Yeah.
Because one of them was a ring that Jethro would now show Bernie, and like, and yeah, it's basically he's showing Bernie the engagement ring.
huh. Well, that's a nice ring. I mean, if you're, why don't you just go and do that then? I mean, just maybe uh, get her some flowers, some small nice gift, like just as a gesture of well, friendship and romance, and just spend some time with her before you ask.
I mean, I've already spent over a year with her.
Sure, but at least if you ask now, then she will at least have a say in the whole thing, right?
Right. What if she gets mad at me though? Because I may have left this part out, but I did sort of, in a bit of a fit of rage, kind of mention to her dad that I only reason I didn't kick his ass was because of her.
Right. I mean, I just I mean, if she gets mad, then let her go off and cool down for a bit, and give her some time and talk afterwards. I mean, anger is just temporary. Usually. Healthy anger is just temporary.
Out of character, unless you're a zealot barbarian above level 14, I think.
Anger is forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hardly an expert in this field myself. I mean, I've only.
You mentioned before you got engaged. How did you propose?
Well, we had a bit of a sparring session, and then we went to my chambers and had a bit of a
Another sparring session. I'm assuming with the close quarters, it was more of a wrestling match.
Without going into any further details, we had a nice moment together, and it felt right to ask, and I had been planning to ask for some time, and apparently she had also been wondering about it. So,
well, I mean, what if I screw this up?
Well, then you screw it up. You leave it alone for a bit and maybe try again. I mean, I succeeded on the first attempt, so I wouldn't know if. I'm sorry. I just.
Yeah, I feel like you're bragging now.
Yeah, a little bit. I used to grow up with my brother, and we had this kind of like all these jabs at each other.
That's the thing is like if I've already chained her down to me with this careless, stupid wish,
Jesus.
and now it's what?
She already doesn't have a choice, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fuck.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, sorry. Let me finish what I was gonna say before I got distracted. It's the main reason I wanted to end this wish is not just for the sake of maybe these feelings weren't real, but because that I don't want her to do something she doesn't. I don't want her to be caged by me any more than she already is. And what if this is just another cage to her?
Well,
You know?
yeah, I see the dilemma there. How about this? I don't know if you are still affected by that wish, but if you are, either of you, I could cleanse it, remove it.
You can remove a wish.
I think so. I mean, I haven't tried, but well, I feel like my goddess recently bestowed me with a higher level of trust, if you will.
I mean, if it's only something you can do for a couple things, then I don't want you to waste it on us. If it's for the greater good of the mission, but also I kind of do want it. I'm a mess right now. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, we're just hanging out here at the estate. I don't have anything better to do, really.
Right. Well, I'm also. I'm full of nervous energy. Do you want to spar or something? Because I wanted to kick her dad's ass, but I didn't for her sake, and I still just have that pent-up energy.
Sure, we can do that. I mean, I haven't met her dad, but if I saw him, I could make myself look like him, if that would help.
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, please do.
Well, I need to see him first.
Do you have minor illusion?
No, I have a disguised self.
Well, I mean for Jethro, minor illusion.
Yeah, it has it.
There you go. Yeah, this is what he looks like.
Oh, okay. I'll just walk around him for a little bit. Okay, let me try. I'll just furrow my brow for a little bit and call upon my infernal heritage to assume the guise of Janny's father.
Help
Yanni.
somebody work through their daddy issues.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go through like a whole like PvP thing for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like if the camera scrolled out of the room, they'd hear like, and this is for calling her a burden, and just like bunch of fucking like chaos things breaking. I use up my Eldritch Smites, you know.
Is everything all right in here? I heard explosions.
The hell is happening?
We're just sparring. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Wait,
How much of this
Wait,
room is destroyed?
out of character, did you just ask him to spar after Bernie just talked about how he and his fiance got together?
Oh my. That's for the After Dark version of this campaign where fanfiction comes out.
I swear to God, I've never find any fan fiction of us.
The Bernie Jethro ship has begun.
Oh no.
Bernie, I know you're already engaged and I'm already with someone, but it's just those horns.
Yeah.
Look, it's Pharaoh.
It's horrible, is what it is. It's horrible. Anyways, so
Or Jethy.
everybody's coming in, looking at the scenario. There's some random man in here fighting Jethro.
I just hear this stuff. He's shouting like, I'm only going to assume this is some kind of daddy issue.
Why would you assume that? Hey, not so fast.
Because you look old enough to be Jethro's dad.
Roll credits.
Yanni's actually.
Yanni, at this point, you walk down the hall and you see.
Jethro beating up your dad.
Drop her bow and run to separate
Patrick,
Why
you
is
betting
it-
money already?
This isn't what it looks like. It was just
Dad, are you all right? She's gonna put her hands on Bernie's
Oh, I'm
face.
fine. It's me, Bernie.
Oh, just let's go.
Oh.
Let's go falls on his head.
Oh, why were you? Look, why do you? How do you know what?
It's a long story. Let's not
Um,
go into it. It's just situation has been handled. Also, your dad I think hates me. I apologize.
I'll drop the disguise and just. Why don't you go and have a chat over there, the two of you? And
Doing?
I'm turning around and then I give Jethro.
What are you doing? Stop.
Why were you beating? What did he say?
The door
No,
closes
I-
with just
probably
you
don't
two
need an
and
elf,
locks from
right?
the outside.
After going there, just put a hand on Jethro's shoulder. Good luck, guidance.
To be fair, like this really matches with with
And
Jill's
don't come out till you
thing.
solve this. And the doors are now barred by Miriam Scottons.
And I put silence on the hallway.
Gosh darn it, I wanted to bet money on that.
Says Patry, who's still in the room somewhere. In the corner.
Patry, why are you on the chandelier here? Just
I wanted to swing from the chandelier.
But anyways, the two of you are alone. I think you're alone now.
God damn it.
You're muted,
That's-
Wyatt.
What happened? Why are you fighting my dad? Why did you want to beat him up? Like, I get that he's not the nicest person to be around, but still my father.
I know. I didn't want you to see that, for one thing. But I did go horseback riding with your father, like you wanted.
Well, I'm guessing it went bad after you said that.
We talked, and I learned some things about you and how you were viewed and stuff, and I can see why that mansion was, when we went to the nightmare place, was kind of a sort of scary at times. Um, Yanni?
Why did he tell you it was a badge of shame that he only kept around because of my grandfather? Or that you were never going to be noble if you married me? Or any other hateful thing you could think of?
Jethro, I assume with when as Yenny says that, she's like probably not looking Jethro in the eye.
No,
But-
she's not. She's looking off to the side. She is not happy about this.
Probably midway through that, or maybe like midway through the end of that, Jethro doesn't say anything, but he goes in and he gives you a warm hug.
She'll hug him
Listen
back.
to me. Listen to me, Annie. I want you to know that I don't view you as anything like that. You're not a burden to me or anything. In fact, I don't know if I could find the words to what you are to me, but it's not anything negative. It is not anything that would drive me away from you. I'm conflicted. I'm fucked up. I'm a fucking thug that tries to look like a gentleman, but the one thing that I would never want right now is for you to ever be sad, to ever feel lonely, to ever you felt like you don't belong.
She'll hug you back and then pull away and say thank you. I'm sorry that you had to deal with him. I was hoping things would go well, but never does with him. But I think karma might come his way sooner than expected.
Jethro in his mind is just thinking that Karma's name is Jethro as he like storms the fucking mansion. But
Oh, I think
that's
you were
just
gone.
it is like
Yeah,
It's just
you were
head
gone
thoughts.
for that. It's fine. He doesn't know. It'll be
Yeah, I mean,
it'll
that's
be a
even
fun
better.
thing to discover in the future.
Yanni, because after being kind of pushed away, like Jethro seems reluctant and scared, but he's kind of grasps your hand, sort of desperately. I know we met in the weirdest of circumstances, and that our relationship is really weirdly complicated but simple, I guess. I don't know anymore. I Jethro kind of like he like kind of like steps away for a moment, and he's like what's the word, not prowls, he paces like a bit, and he's like looks like he's trying to pump himself up or like find the words or something. Then he comes back. Right. Yanni, despite everything, I care for you. Even without this wish, I would care for you. I would love you the way that I love you now. And I know by all weird genie whatevers that this is weird, and also that where this is bad, and why can I not find words? Well, he starts kind of search through his pocket, and he's really having a hard time.
This is when the guidance kicks in.
Guidance. Grabs it. Yanni, with just a quick question, Wyatt, what was Yanni's last name again? Because I know Jethro would know it.
Soleto.
Soleto.
Solito or Soleto, yeah.
Soleto. Yanni Soleto. I know this isn't how I wanted to do this. This is really weird, but would you do me the greatest honor of not just because of magic or any stupid thing, but and he falls to a knee, and he holds up the emerald ring or diamond. I don't know which one it was, Joey. Would you
Emerald.
do me the greatest honor of being my wife?
And before the answer to that question, players, thank you all very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. You can DM each other the answer and reply. It'll be interesting to see what the party figures out next time.
Then watch as like beginning of the next session. Then suddenly a meteor hits the mansion and Jethro is killed.
No. You guys
Tragically.
just have a lot of stuff to do. But don't go anywhere. We are going to go on another break real quick. And when we come back, we are going to be judging all of the memes, people. Aren't we excited? Hopefully we'll see some good ones. All right. We'll see you guys.
Oh, I know we're on break.
Turns out the more people tell Shamaris, the stronger she gets.
Hello! Welcome back, everybody. We're almost done with the stream of the memes and all of that jazz. So before we get in there, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. And let's start reviewing them. For anybody who might be a little newer to the community, the title of the Mika is something that's been a meme in our community for quite a long while at this point. We have the meme lord themselves, Lewin, who's been slacking on all of the memes, who is going to be voting upon the funniness of each of them and ranking who, amongst all of these memes, should be the winner of the meme war. So, let us start with this first one on our stream. Actually, I should probably be sharing my screen to y'all. Yeah, I think this one. There we go. That's better. Yeah, this looks weird and shit, but, you know, I'm kind of just improvising all of it. So, the first meme. When the new player sends a 19-page backstory 6 minutes before the session. Go ahead, Lewin. Judge it.
It's pretty basic, honestly. Rundown.
Mm-hmm.
Basic rundown is used to often, you know, a player sends details 5 minutes before a thing.
That does mean it's accurate, though.
Yeah, it's accurate. It's relatable. That's why it bumps up into like the 5 out of 10 category at least. Because
Okay.
it's very relatable.
So we're giving this
and
one
the
a...
fact that
Go ahead.
your face emphasizes it more. So,
Yeah, I think that's literally what happened when I froze there. So 5 out of 10 on the first one. Alrighty.
Mhm.
Let us keep going. When you've spent a minute trying to add 12 plus 7 to figure out what you rolled, but you still have no idea what the answer is.
Oh man, this is a little too relatable.
D&D
The next-
players, we're horrible at math. We know this.
That extra brain fart moment.
All right, so go ahead, rate it.
Yep. Yeah, I'll put a 7, honestly.
7 on this one. Okay.
Yeah. Combine the expression and the text above, and there's something that almost every player have stopped and done. So yeah.
Well, if this is a 7, that means we get to delete the other one. Sorry, whoever made that one, but that one was not good enough. All right, next up. Our paladin preparing to sell his soul again. A Dami Mommy devil who wants a foot rub. And if you've been watching the Saturday early game,
Yep.
exactly what happens with that character.
Dear Lord, if it's inaccurate. It's kind of difficult because meme-wise it's kind of right into my stupid brain be like, it
Oh.
works.
I just realized that this is in the way. Let me... Nope, wrong one. There we go. That helps out the stream. So, where would you rate this one? Higher or lower than the
This
previous one?
Yeah, honestly, a bit lower.
Lower? All right, then it goes away.
Yeah, 6.5. It's close, but yeah, it's a 6.5.
No problem. Next up, min-maxed for DPS, DM. Make a wisdom save.
Yes. The good old dumb stat.
That's a great one, by the way, Dark Rave. Just
That's not mine, but are you talking about the image?
the image, yeah. I'm not saying who any of these belong to. They will just be given the dignification if they win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to do an 8 for this.
Hey,
Due to the
ooh.
fact, let's put it this way, it's short, it's sweet, and the 2 images just fits
That's
perfectly.
accurate.
Bueno.
That is
Yeah.
perfectly accurate. All right, well, if that's 8,
Absolutely bueno.
all right, so then we're moving the math one. Next up, Survived the 60s, partied in the 70s, rocked in the 80s, got down in the 90s, feared the millennium, relaxed in the new era, feared the pandemic. This is what it means to be a seasoned dwarf.
Hell yeah, brother. Rockin' stew.
Go ahead and rate it.
But yeah, this is more of a in thing with the community, so it fits more in the like what do you call it? Wholesome part of the category.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as a meme funny wise, it's still lower than the previous one.
Alrighty.
It's cool and all, but yeah,
So
the impact is like lacking.
next up, when the DM asks if a 32 hits. Yeah.
The moment. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to rate it the same. A wee bit lower than previous.
Wee bit
Meme
lower than
works.
min-maxed?
Yeah.
Okay.
The meme works, but the previous one has a bit more impact because you can see that change in expression.
That's fair. That's fair. Alrighty. Damn, this was one of the ones I thought was a real contender. Alrighty. Next up. When you run out of rerolls. Again, something to our specific game. When you were playing
Yes.
Clover.
All those freaking rerolls.
So how would we rank that one?
That's to be Goose's one.
Oh, lordy. Yeah.
That's my favorite, but
Yeah. It's a bit of like a 7.5.
So slightly lower than this one still?
Yeah.
Alright. This is a
It's
really
because
good
the
one
two,
too.
the combine of two images on the previous one just slaps you with the impact a lot more.
That's fair.
Like
That's
this
fair.
one, you just see the result, like you get it. It's freaking hilarious.
This is
honestly,
more of like a
but yeah.
2016 meme, and the other one's like much more
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next up then. When the players actually decide to fuck around and find out.
Oh God, how many times I did it? I wonder. Man, this is a good one.
It is.
Yeah. Should I put it? But the previous, yeah, it's really hard to beat the previous one because it works out of context, in context, and the fact that, yeah, the fact that his face just went. Yeah, so it's hard to beat the previous one, honestly.
So we're sticking to min-max still?
Mm-hmm. It's
Alrighty.
because his second expression just speaks like 1,000 words, and you can change the bottom text, and it won't be wrong.
This is the last one. When you're starting a new campaign and no one in the party has dark vision.
Oh, no. Living the dream.
Right? I would never know.
Oh, God. For once, not having people screaming dark vision every time you enter a room.
God damn, that would be beautiful.
God. Honestly, yeah, personally wise, it's still a bit short. A wee bit short.
All right, so you're saying the winner of the title of the Mika this year is min-maxed for DPS.
Exactly. Because let's be honest, the reason why I choose it, the expressions work in context and out of context, and the fact that if you erase the text, you can just put all those relatable things previously. It still tells 1,000 stories all by itself.
So there was some
That's the
last
best part of the meme.
there were some last minute given memes that happened while I was running the game, and I forgot to bring up here. When the boss got below 50%, when the layer action kick in.
Oh God, the lag action. I still remember the bad memories.
Great actions.
Yeah. Yeah, it could work, but the text color just kind of kills it.
You
I mean,
know,
it matches the hair.
Yeah, true. Matches they have. I think it would have a. It could probably crawl up there to like a draw if you put in like the black border behind it, just to emphasize the absolute fuckery of the picture itself.
Oh,
You know,
like
like the black border behind. You know, like that. What do you call it? Silence brand crab image with the badly edited text behind it. Yeah.
or even like the corrupted text.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Okay, so between these two, the same templates used,
Mm-hmm.
what are you going to say is created by the Mika of the community for the next year?
I gotta give it to the first one.
Min-maxed for
The second-
DPS.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well then, congratulations, Hocus. You are now the meme lord of our community. The funniest one out of everybody on that one.
Honestly, dude, every time I see it, I still laugh at it.
It's good. It's a good one. I really, really like this one a lot.
It's too good, dude.
Awesome. Well,
Oh,
thank you so
I
much
guess
for
I should
showing
feel
up.
honored.
You should be. You were probably top 2 out of 5. Like,
Exactly.
but anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to show up for all of this, and everybody out there, thank you for watching. And I'll be posting, or I'll let everybody post their memes to the channels. So we'll see you around next time. Goodbye.
Yeah.